Okay. Star. New. Lee Daniels. I don't know. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about Star. And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I'm going up on my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What, Cookie? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is going to be my review and more so my thoughts about the premiere episode of Lee Daniels' new show, Star. Let me just say right off, some things made me a bit unhappy. One, I'm going to just start right off saying I felt as though the first 20 minutes could have actually, we rushed through the first 20 minutes. The first 20 minutes of this could have actually made a 2-hour movie. I don't think that some of the situations were given the adequate time to actually build the story to bring you in. It didn't bring me in. He didn't spend enough time bringing me into that world. So it was kind of just like thrown out there, and it's like, here, you fill in the blanks. I don't want to fill in the blanks. When I sit down with a Lee Daniel production, you usually don't have to fill in the blanks because no matter how deep and how gritty it is, he gives it to you like that. And I think it just was kind of just thrown out there. So anyway, let's just start. We start off Star. Star is a little white girl, basically. She's a little blonde hair, blue eyed white girl. She is in the foster system. She is basically living with a family who basically ain't shit. They just basically got her for the money. They were giving me very honey boo boo type of living type of situation, very honey boo boo esque. And they were actually making, the foster brother was making some comments that the girl ain't even worth the money that they actually sent me for her. She just is fussing, fussing. Star is coming in, you see her. She's kind of like this fly, you know, teenage girl. She comes in, probably a little too pop and too hip for her own good. And she says, "Get on over there. You think you the shit? You ain't the shit. Get over and wash them damn dishes." And she looks over in the sink, and she looks at her, and she's, mm-mm. And she said, "Where do you get that headset from?" Because she had earphones and a phone. "Where do you get that headset and that phone from?" She's like, "Obama." And then she goes on off and she leaves. She leaves. Before she leaves, before that, you actually see her talking on the phone to this other really pretty black girl. And the girl's a songwriter. And you can tell she lives in a more decent type of setting. And I'll get to her in a minute. But so she rolls out. As she's rolling out, the foster mother's walking behind her. Fussing about all that she's done for her. Just bullshit. Child, we all know foster parents. I was a foster parent. I am an adoptive parent. Through my time in the system, we all have met foster parents that are like that. They are just absolutely out of order. They're in it for just the money, gives less than a damn about the kids, and some of them treat the kids like goddamn slaves. And here, this is there. That was actually built. It's supposed to be Pittsburgh, which is where I'm at. So that kind of irritated me too. So I'm gonna tell you about that in a minute. Okay, we go. So Star leaves, and she's like, "All that I've done for you." She's like, "What did you do, honey? I'm out of here." So she leaves, and she's like, "I'm going." She basically wants to have herself emancipated from her. So I believe Star is like maybe 17. And she's like maybe 17. And she ends up leaving there, goes down to the uh, adoption agency or social services, basically. And she's telling the woman, I want to be emancipated away from her, and then I have a sister. I haven't seen my sister in 5 years. My sister is with somebody else in the foster care system. I need the address to where she is, this kind of thing. And the girl's like, the worker's like, I can't give you that information, blah, 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 blah. And eventually she gives her the information, gives her the things that are in her file, basically gives her file. And she sees that the sister is actually in Harrisburg, which is like 3.5 hours away from us. She basically jumps a bus and she gets headed toward Harrisburg. She's going to go get her sister. The sister's a few years younger, so I'll say the sister's probably 15, 16. Okay? So, let me tell you where my issue is. That ain't how foster care motherfucking works, okay? You don't just get the fuck up and walk down to CYF and tell them I want to be emancipated, and then you get emancipated, and here's your fucking folder. And they wouldn't hold your sister's whereabouts from you. They wouldn't do that. Your worker would tell you, because their main job is to keep the children together. So they would, 9 times out of 10, one wouldn't be in Harrisburg and one be in Pittsburgh, okay? Because that's 3.5 hours apart. That's damn near to Washington, D.C., okay? So it wouldn't be that way for the most part anyway, unless it was like family members that took them and moved or some shit like that. It would be something like that. But 9 times out of 10, their thing is to try to keep the kids together. So that irritated me because of just the looseness of how it was written, and it was like, really, who do you think you're talking to? This is just stupid. So anyway, here she goes off. She goes to sister. Let's talk about the sister. Sister isn't white. The sister's half black and half white. Their mama's name was Mary. She was white, okay? Star's daddy, obviously, he was a white man. And the sister, what was the sister's name? Was it Hope? No. Sister has some kind of name, too, that's something odd. Star and something else. But anyway, the sister, little dusty looking little girl, and I believe, to me, she doesn't even look like mulatto. She looks Hispanic to me, the girl that actually plays the part. But anyway, we'll get to that as well in a minute. So she's half and half. She's half white and half black. She's with a black family in Harrisburg. We see right away the father in the house, the father figure in the house, he is very verbally abusive. He was saying to her right out the door, you're not white. You ain't white. You see that like you white. You ain't white. You're black, this, that, and the other. And he's like beating her down. And she's like, I never said I was white. Whatever. And it was that kind of thing. And then there's other little kids in the house, and the woman's like, well, I'm going to take them. Come on, let's go so we go to school. And he tells her, I'll take her. She need to wash some dishes and that, and I'll take her to school. Something to me right away just didn't seem right about that. I was like, something ain't right about that. And sure enough, he was molesting her. He's been molesting her, okay? So at this point, this is where it gets real TV, okay? So Star is actually, she's been talking to the other little girl who is living somewhere else. I can't even think of where she's at. I don't even know where she is. I want to say it's probably like New York City or somewhere, but she's somewhere else. Star gets off the bus, goes and finds where the sister is. There's also paperwork in there. They're talking about a woman named Carlotta. Carlotta was their godmother, the two of theirs. She was their godmother. And she always was trying to keep tabs on the girls and where the girls were and all of that kind of thing. Now, Carlotta is actually played by Queen Latifah, but I believe she's actually in Atlanta, which is actually the goal of where they're trying to go, is actually Atlanta. So She ends up going, Star goes to Harrisburg first on the bus. She goes to the house where the sister is. She knocks on the door. Nobody answers the door. She just kind of goes in the house and she hears this squeaking mattress. She comes upstairs and she sees her sisters laying on the bed and the foster father is fucking her and his trifling ass. He was fucking her in, literally through the fucking hole on his guy in his goddamn boxers. He fucking her before it's when he supposed to be taking her to school. So Star runs downstairs. Now he ain't heard her come in the house, ain't heard nothing because he's too busy fucking. Goes downstairs, she gets a knife, stabs him up. They think that they done actually killed him. He's over there because she's stabbing the shit out of him. And the girl's like, wait, you stabbing the shit out of him, He falls out, they steal his watch, get his car keys, take his car, and they're off. They drive for so far, switch license plates on it, and keeps it moving. Star is just like a way, that bitch was a thief, and she had other little things. She had little felonies and things. Miss Star, Eddie. So she knew what she did. So she goes on. They go and they snatch up the other girl. We find out she's the songwriter. She's a songwriter. Her and Star been talking. They met on Instagram. They heard each other sing over over Snapchat or whatever. Come to find out, she didn't say anything, but come to find out she's Lenny Kravitz's daughter. Okay, Lenny Kravitz is a star, and he's actually playing whatever his character was from Empire. Okay, so he's a music person. He's a music personality, and he also produces as well. But he's more of a, he wants his daughter. He told his daughter she's being keen to. He's very self-centered, and he wants her to sing backup for him. And she's like, I need to do my own thing. She wants to produce and she wants to be part of a girl group. So, but she really, I think, wants to produce other artists. I think it's kind of somewhere in there, but she loves to write music. So they pull up in front, and here she comes out the door. Now she gets in the car, and then they dash off, and now they're on their way to Atlanta. Let's stop. Okay, so they pick up right away that she basically comes from a little money. They ain't, judging her. Well, the little sister is like right on the window, bitch. She's a bitch, because of course she's like, used to stuff. So she's like, child, what kind of car? Child, what kind of shit is this? But anyway, she's like, who's this? She's like, this is my sister. She's like, and she sings, almost as good as me, but she's not me, this, that, and the other. So they go on off. Now I'm gonna stop here because this is where I was getting very irritated. All this is going on too fast. This is too fast. This is too much for the first 20 minutes of a show. You could have done a 2 hour premiere just up to this point where they get to the rich girl and they get on their way off to Atlanta. You could have done a 2 hour and you could have done some better writing of how these people got to each other because that was just too. Now you want us to believe they'd have stabbed the motherfucker and left his ass laying in Harrisburg. They'd have stole his motherfucking car that made it all the way to wherever this is that they at. And I guess they used the GPS system on this motherfucking Obama phone. Now, I loves President Obama, but come on. Obama phone, really? No money. That little money that she ain't sharing, no money. And they pick her up, and now they off on their way to Atlanta. They get on into Atlanta, and you telling me ain't nobody looking for her rich ass? That's some bullshit. High profile, ain't nobody looking for her. She likes black version, one of these little Kardashian whores, but ain't nobody looking for her. Lenny ain't looking for her at all. Bitch just gone. No, sir, Lee Daniels. Now, you know better than this. You know better than this. Anyway, so let's go on, okay, because that's about 20 minutes in. They get down there, they get to Atlanta, they looking for Carlotta. They pull up, they go to this salon. It's a salon, full-fledged ghetto salon. In the salon, we got Miss Lawrence is there, and also Amaya Scott is there. So we find out later on that the salon actually belongs to Carlotta. She's really, really in. She's a Bible thumper. She's all into the church. She used to be a singer in a group with the girls' mother, Mary. Mary was obviously very, very talented, and she died. And I want to say she OD'd because that's what I kind of got the feel that she got tied up in some drugs and shit. And that bitch OD'd and everything, giving us very much sparkle tease. Okay. Um, Amaya Scott, if you don't know, is one of the most beautiful transsexuals walking around. So let me stop here for a minute and tell you how happy that I am. Because how long have I been fussing about the trans community and who they actually choose to show from the trans community? Whenever you choose, whenever it's about trans folk, you usually end up seeing a motherfucker like Caitlyn Jenner. Some type of a motherfucking cement block with a pair of pumps on, okay? And it irritates the fuck out of me because, like I said, there are some transsexuals that will knock your motherfucking socks off. And Amaya happens to be one of them. And I'll show you a picture. She's gorgeous. Absolutely motherfucking drop dead gorgeous, okay? Hats off to Lee Daniels for hiring a transsexual that is of quality that should be on primetime television. And congratulations to you, Amaya. She is basically, it's kind of a lead, like a little lead type of role because she happens to be the daughter of Queen Latifah. So I guess as long as we have the program, unless they kill her off, we're gonna have Amaya, ain't we? And I'm happy about it. Anyway, so that's a whole other thing. So, and we got Miss Lawrence. And of course, you know, there's always some banter. Miss Lawrence is like the queen of the damn salon. So right away we see her candor and she's just being Miss Lawrence. She's real snappy just like she always is. And I don't know where they got this fucking hairdo for her because usually when we see Miss Lawrence, she's always bald headed. Child, they got her with this Nene Leakes / Iyanla Vanzant. It is a fucking yucky mess, honey. And she's just flip flopping around there with that platinum. It's a mess. But go ahead, girl, whatever. They end up telling her, oh yeah, Miss Carlotta down at the church. They go on down to the church. Three girls go on down to the church. Carlotta's in there singing. She sings with the choir and stuff. So she ends up seeing them. They run up and they hug her. Of course, they remember her after they see her. They remember her and they show a flashback of when the mama's body was being brought out of the house and they were crying and holding on to Carlotta. I don't know what happened, but she didn't get to keep them. They ended up being taken into social services, whatever. So she basically ends up taking them in. And the other girl. And she's like, I said, you a little bougie. I don't know where you came from, but she's keeping all that pretty much under wraps. In the meantime, in between time, they're meeting with Miss Carlotta, learning about living with Miss Carlotta. Miss Carlotta's like, I'll take you in, but you got to earn your keep. I didn't just stay in here. You know, she ain't going into a whole lot of detail about where they actually came from. We end up seeing Albie Shore's son. P. Diddy's stepson with his little fine self. Y'all, if he don't look just like his daddy, I mean, woo, yes, God. But he's sweet on the little black girl, okay? And I'm like, look at the two of them, just beauty personified, honey. So I said, check them out. So you hear them singing, and they're always practicing. The two are always practicing. You can tell the younger sister's not really all that interested. Her thing, she wants a mother. She is one of those children that she longs for a mother figure. She wants a mother figure. She wants someone to love. She's looking for love. And we noticed right away she got a little problem, little substance problem. She likes to smoke weed and she likes to drink liquor. Okay? She gonna be a motherfucking problem. But anyway, so we're watching that. So, little rich girl's getting a little irritated. She like, child, this little range is not the shit. She's like, now we done been here a couple days. We need to be finding some talent shows, some gigs, something. We need to be looking for somebody to discover us. We're a girl group, boom, 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 boom. We need to find somebody to discover us. So, child, Miss Carlotta's like, what you need to do is get down there and wash some heads up in that salon and then be down there at the church, honey, and get saved. Get yourself saved, honey. So they go on with all that. Star has a little run in with Miss Lawrence Child and said something about Miss Lawrence said something, child, little white girl, you doing this, that, thing, and the other. And Miss Carlotta, I don't even know why you brought this little white girl down there. She don't know what she's doing. She got a bad attitude, blase, 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 blah. Honey, and she cussed Miss J, not Miss J, Miss Lawrence right on out. She said, bitch, you don't know nothing about me and where I came from and what I'm all about and what I've seen and what I've done, bitch. And Jay was like, Jay, why I keep saying Jay? You know Miss J and Miss Lawrence. She says to Miss Lawrence, Lawrence is like, yeah, girl, well, whatever, honey, this, that, thing, and the other. She's like, you can bitch yourself on out of here, honey. Get on out of here. Go on. She ain't trying to argue her back. She's like, girl, just go ahead on it. She's like, fuck you, bitch. So Carla was like, girl, your mouth, you got a mouth just like your mother, child. So that whole thing was going on. They end up deciding they're going to go, and there was some type of little talent night that they wanted to do. So the three of them slide out and go to this little talent night. Well, Maya actually sees them talking about it. She's standing in the window. She sees them talking about it, and she goes on and follows them, child. So they go down there and they perform at the little talent night. Girl, they broke it up a little bit. But, the place where they was at was a nope. It was a fucking dive. So when they come out of there, Amaya basically ends up telling them, oh, I know where you can find somebody to manage you, where the managers and all of that are. I know where they're all hanging out down at the strip club, baby. So she takes them to the strip club. Baby, when I tell you they rolled in this motherfucking strip club, and because they, first of all, the black girl was like, sorry, bitch, not doing it. She understands image and all of that. She still ain't came out with exactly who she is, but she's like, honey, I can't be in no strip club and somebody by chance take pictures of me and bring that out later and ruin my career. I can't do that. But Star is an old ghetto buster bitch, so she's like down with it. And the sister is leaning more toward Miss Carlotta, and whatever Miss Carlotta says goes. She even was pondering. She said, well, let's go down to the church and get saved. So I said, oh, poor thing. So, but Star, and this is the thing with this whole thing. Star is not the most talented of the group, but I'm going to get to that in a minute. She's not even the stand. The way that the script is written is that she's the standout. But I'm sorry, Lee Daniels, you made a mistake. She's not the standout. She's actually the one that I looked at the least. But anyway, she's the sluttier one of the group. She's the one that is willing to do what needs to be done to get where they need to go. Her and Amaya go on down to the strip club. Baby, Amaya broke the strip club up. That bitch had on this motherfucking jumpsuit with this little waist cincher, silver belt, and dusted. Do you understand me? Dusted. So her and Star go, and they all sharped up, and she, maneuvers and menangles and finangles and goes, and she ends up going over there and meeting this guy who is a manager. She gives him a lap dance, kisses him all in his mouth, and all of this. And in the meantime, while she's doing all this, he's having like a brainstorm while she's up on his dick, sitting up on his dick, riding, honey. And with their clothes on, she grinding on him. And honey, he's seeing, and they go into this whole like Chicago moment, and they're like doing this whole dance number, and it was given very child reminded me of Burlesque. If you ever seen the movie Burlesque, um, Yeah, they were getting down. They were really getting down. And again, even then, when I'm like, okay, Lee Daniels, I'm supposed to be looking at Star because he sees Star as like this Beyonce type of person, and she's not. And I'm like, I'm looking at the drag queens that were back. They had drag queens back there dancing and professional dancers, and they was getting the fuck down. I was again looking at everybody but the girl that plays Star. Anyway, so once he comes out of that, it's like a dream sequence. After they come out of that, she ends up, he gives her his card and all of this. And she comes out back. She's looking for Amaya. Amaya had already seen a little date and told him, meet me out back. Well, when she comes out the back door, she sees Amaya out there, child, and Amaya. And at this time, Amaya hasn't told them her tea. And he's out there choking the shit out of her, okay? And Star's like, what the fuck? Get off of her, you bastard. She jumps on his back and they jump him. And Star beats his ass down. And he tells Star, you ought to tell your little black friend to tell people what she has down there. And Amaya's like, oh, shut up, you bastards. You knew full well what was down there, you motherfucker. And so Star kicks his ass and tells Amaya, get your money, girl. And they take his little money and they dash off. All dusted and shit. I said, Lord have mercy. So we actually touched on the dangers of being trans, being in drag, you know, and not telling people what's actually fucking going on. Okay, we got the message, Lee, because he was choking the shit out of Maya's ass. But anyway, so they go. Um, they end up telling Carlotta, no, because she chastised them too about where they were. She said, I know where y'all were, and I know what I think you was doing. God damn it! And told her son, if you want to be a girl, that's fine. You want to be a woman, but you gonna go about be doing it the right way. You're not gonna be doing all this outlandish shit. You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna be putting yourself in danger and carrying on. I know I'm not dangerous. I know what I'm doing. This, that, the other. It wasn't nothing like that. It was everything like that. But anyway, so they end up talking with the guy, Carlotta, as they're like, what do you mean you met a manager? Soon as they said the name, Carlotta knew exactly who they were talking about. And she went to see that motherfucker. Rolled up on him, rolled to his apartment and told him that is Mary's daughter, Tamal Star. Told him, you stay away from her, stay away from those girls. You understand me? You didn't do right by us, and you need to leave those girls alone. And then she told that motherfucker, my daddy always told me to travel with three things: your Bible, what was it? Your Bible, your word, and your pistol. And I'm telling you, you better stay away from them girls. And she had this pistol in her purse. I said, oh, all right, honey. So she goes on and she leaves on out of his apartment. He ain't paid her no attention. He goes and meets with this another spoiled brat who I think is some type of a sports. He looked more like a swimmer or something, but he's into some type of sport. And he's having a big old party. It was his birthday party. And he set up for them to come in and perform. So Amaya sewed them some costumes, real cute dresses, sequin dresses, and took them and they go to do the little gig. And this is when we actually get to see the girls really shine and perform and do what they do. And they're singing a song that the one little girl wrote. So this is when in the program I'm like, okay, let's go. So this is very Empire, what they're doing. They're performing all over this mansion and they're singing a song and everybody's watching them and they're getting down dancing. And at that point I saw all of the flaws that have been made by Lee Daniels and crew. Because yet again, we're looking at everybody except for the bitch that's actually cast as Star. Okay, and there was some controversy in the media and stuff about why he cast her to play Star and this, that, thing, and the other. And the fact that she's a white girl, I don't have a problem with any of that. She's written in the script to be a white girl, so there's no problem with that. But there's some other white girls out there that could have actually done this role. There's nothing wrong with this little girl, but you got two people that are so strong. Because I'm telling you, I swear that the one that plays the baby sister is a Latina, but because they took her and they flat ironed her hair out for them to do their performance. They flat ironed her hair out and made her look totally more grown up. They did put makeup on her, and they were all done. And I'm telling you, the little girl that plays Lenny Kravitz's daughter, this black bitch is flawless from the door. Well, we know she's already made up because she has money, so she already has a polished look. The little girl's beautiful. I don't really even know her as an actress or whatever, but beautiful. Beautiful black girl, looks like a goddamn black Barbie doll. She really does. She's gorgeous. And they got the performing baby, and I mean they were on it as far as the dance moves, stage presence. They were everything. The whole time that scene was going on, all I could watch is the two of them. I was watching them. I was not watching Star. But for whatever purposes of the show, Star is supposed to be so standing out. You know, she's a star. I don't get it, but whatever. That's casting problems. But they gonna have to do something. Then she gonna have to either come on with something else, but her backup slays her at it. But anyway, so that was that. They did the gig, and everything with the gig went okay. So, uh, and of course, Samaya was with them. You know, she's like their little right hand man or right hand lady. And so they're like, she's like friends with them. She's not part of the group or anything, but she's like sewing for them and stuff. So that's kind of basically where we kind of ended. The last thing that we actually seen that went over very well. So we know they're going to be attached to this guy. We know Carlotta has a problem with him, and she's probably going to beat his ass and pistol whip him. And then we have the sister. That bitch got so motherfucking drunk and had up beforehand. They had to get her and shake her together to make her perform, but she came on through. Last thing we saw is old boy laying up in the hospital where Star has stabbed him, and so now I guess he's supposed to pose as a threat. But the thing is, it was more of a threat when we thought that she killed him. But I guess maybe he's gonna come after him or something. Whatever. So this is what the building is. It's too much, too soon, and too short of a time. I didn't like how it was all crammed in like that. I didn't like the way that it was. I guess I didn't care for the screenplay, is what it is. But I'm gonna definitely watch it. The actual show itself won't begin until January, so I don't know. It was worth watching, but yeah, it, mm, some changes gonna have to be made. Some changes gonna have to be made. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, guys. So tell me what you all thought. If those of you who have actually seen it, leave it down in those comments. Let me see what you all have thought. I definitely think we need to talk about this one back and forth in the next couple of weeks until time for it to come on. But we're definitely going to go ahead and review. We'll definitely be reviewing it, but I'd like to know what you guys' thoughts are. So leave it down in the bottom, and I'll talk to you guys later. See ya.